Hey friends, Powwow Guy Raw Phoenix here. This is kind of basically like an unboxing video. I have a Braucher friend. He's been a powwow for many, many years, but he's extremely private, and so I respect that, and I'm not going to say his name. But he's been sort of downsizing and mm, like minimalistic. I don't know, just kind of clearing things out of his home and just kind of simplifying life a little bit. So anyway, he sent to me today a box of awesome. So it's basically like powwow Christmas at my house right now. So I just wanted to share some of the awesome stuff that he sent me. Again, as a powwower, you don't need most of this stuff, but I love these things. So I just want to share this with you. So first of all, if you're familiar with living here in the Hex Belt in Pennsylvania Dutch country, you're familiar with these little books. Well, he sent me a whole treasure trove of them, all these awesome like Pennsylvania Dutch cookbooks. And what's cool about these little cookbooks, they're sold for very cheap. They're sold mostly at like touristy shops. Like this one was sold at Dutch Haven. I think that place is closed now, though. I feel like it was shut down the last time I drove by there. But just different recipes and such, all these little cutesy sort of touristy books. You see a lot of that here. But anyway, he sent me a bunch of these. A couple of these I already have, but some of them I've never seen before. Love them. And they contain little bits of like Pennsylvania Dutch wisdom. You know, there's a little powwowing in there, interspersed, just kind of peppered throughout them. Fantastic. So this alone was a treasure to get, but there's so much more. So he also sent me a couple of Pennsylvania Dutch language books. This is a workbook and just sort of a little self-learning manual, like a little, almost like a zine. Like, do you remember zines? Like people would just publish them on. I used to make zines when I was a kid too. So that's what it is. It's just a little stapled together. I actually published a powwow book like this in 2010, where I made it. I stapled it together, a little powwow charms booklet, little zine or whatever. And then this sort of guide to learning language. You can see it's like geared toward kids and such. Pretty excited for that because I'm not great with the language, but um, this one, it's not really powwow, it's a hoodoo book. Look, Hoodoo Herbs and Root Magic by, can't say that last name, Catherine Irano or something. I don't know. So anyway, this is like, it's all about a materia magica of African American conjure. So there is some crossover with powwow and hoodoo. So this is interesting. Hoodoo is basically like African American, like Black Baptist, Southern Black Baptist spiritual like magic. It does, again, like I said, it has some crossover with powwow insofar as hoodoo practitioners use a lot of like the same books that powwowers use. They just do things a lot differently. So kind of cool that he threw that. It's like a little bonus just to learn. I'm not going to become a hoodoo, but you know, this is cool. This one I'm super excited about, and I already started reading, called The Healer, 1971. This is a fiction book, and it says, a novel of a boy and a master of nature, lore, and magic in the Pennsylvania Hex country. So it's basically about this 14-year-old boy that goes to live with his great uncle in Pennsylvania Dutch country and learns how to be a Braucher. I am so excited for this. I had never heard of this. Written in 1971 by Daniel Mannix. There's a picture of him on the back with like some kind of animal, a fox. I don't know. Bobcat. I have no idea what it is. Anyway, super excited to read this. I already started. Can't wait. So just to find fiction books about powwow is like so rare. Okay, but there's so much more. This, like I said, this was a box of like awesome. Today was Powwow Christmas. So look at this. Modern Palmistry or Guide to the Hand, written in 1901. If any of you have read my Powwow Book of Divination, I talk a little bit about palmistry. I love it. I'm fascinated by it, and I think it has a place in modern day practice of powwowing. So this is like 1901. It's 122 years old. fantastic book, but you can tell it's old. Some of the pages are like, the print has kind of seeped through and such. I don't care. This is awesome. This is like such a cool historical book. You know, just to have a book about something that you're passionate about that's over 100 years old, it's pretty awesome. Speaking of which, he also sent me these. Now, this is the true treasure. Pennsylvania Dutchman. It's a newspaper. These are from the 40s and 50s, 1940s and 50s, but you can see, like, look, this article about Sophia Baylor. This one is the status of witchcraft in Pennsylvania Dutch country. Look at this. There's what they call Pennsylvania broadsides and such. Here they're talking about the Disselfink. I mean, this is a treasure trove. Dozens of these. Look at that. Look at that. Some of these are so, I just can't believe it. Like, there's some Himmelsbriefs in this one. I mean, this is a treasure trove of Pennsylvania Dutch history. So I'm very excited. So I'm really, really appreciated that he sent me these. You can just smell old newspaper. It's like, you know, that kind of musty old newspaper smell. It's awesome. So I also got this copy of Hex by Arthur Lewis. This is an older story. This is an older book about the Nelson Rehmeyer murder. The book is in, it's kind of falling apart and such, but it's an old book. But it's cool because it talks about like the John Blymeyer family and how they had powwowing in it, and the importance of the long lost friend in early Pennsylvania Dutch culture and such. So very excited for that. And here's where we get into like the really good stuff if you're a powwower. So here's a copy of the Book of Secrets of Albertus Magnus. This was from Wiser Books. This was, I'm not sure how old this is. Let me see. I don't think it's too old. 1973. That's the year I was born. So it's like 50 years old. So the Book of Secrets of Albertus Magnus. This is one of the grimoires that we use in powwowing. So it has all the charms and cures and remedies and prescriptions and spells and such in it. So that's awesome. Here's another one, a really old one, but it does not say the year. So it's got to be the 1800s. 6 and 7 Books of Moses, or Moses' Magical Spirit Art. Look, it originally went for $1. It looks like it was sold for 35 cents somewhere, maybe the yard sale or whatever. Look what's on the back though, which is cool. So this is the back. It's a charm, but look what somebody wrote on it. God, love to man, cures. And then that, well, that's weird, right? It's kind of cool though. So anyway, the 6 and 7 Books of Moses, obviously used in powwowing. The Egyptian Secrets about Albertus Magnus. This is from 1885. It's pure German. Look at that. That's fantastic. This old European grimoire, but it has all the original like charms, cures, remedies, and spells. Like here for a rabid dog. You know, here, okay, here's one for keeping your husband faithful. Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, just some of this stuff. Okay, protection from witchcraft. Some of these, I mean, I can't really read a lot of this German. Here's to win a court case. But some of it I can. So anyway, this is 1885. The Albertus Magnus. I don't know if you can see that here. Somebody wrote in there 1885. It's this weird inscription I can't read. But anyway, and finally, now there were a bunch of other books too that I didn't include in here, but I just want to talk about the relevant ones for this old edition of The Long Lost Friend. This is like such a treasure. This is just a wonderful, beautiful treasure. So I don't know when this was, like this edition or whatever, but it's really old. It's kind of falling apart, which you expect from a book that's old, which is why he had it preserved in this plastic. But it's very cool. And what's interesting about this one, though, I never saw this before in any editions of The Long Lost Friend. At the very end, oh, here's the blessing. Whoever carries this book will be protected from fire and water and such way. But towards the very end, they talk about modern magic and doing card tricks, like magic, like stage magic tricks with cards, which I thought was really interesting. Like, you know, they give like sleight of hand and such. So I thought that was kind of cool. But also weird. So anyway, an original antique copy of The Long Lost Friend. Very excited for that. So between this and the Albertus Magnus, what a box of treasure. So, and there are others, like there's a small stack of books there that was included too. So, I mean, he sent me about 30 books, I would say. Really awesome stuff. So anyway, I want to share that with you guys. So if you know any people that you know, like some of the oldsters in the Pennsylvania Dutch community or whatever, I mean, if they have any books and they're willing to part ways with them, you know, tap into that resource, because that's how we preserve our history. And there is so much awesomeness in Pennsylvania Dutch culture. I mean, we just have like, Powwow has such a rich history, and it's all recorded, it's all written down. We don't need to make anything up. We don't need to pretend it is what it never was. I mean, we know what it is. We've known, look at this. This is not June 1st, 1951, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Anne Sophia Baylor, the saint of the coal region. She was a powwower. She was a Christian, you know, a woman of God. And that's what powwow is, and we have that. And so it's so important to keep our history and preserve these old books and such. If you can get your hands on these things, jump at the chance. I was very blessed, very, very blessed to have a friend who was willing to part with these things, and he passed them down onto me and trusted me with them, and I will care for them like they're my children. So anyway, that's a little powwow check-in, just see how you guys are doing. But yeah, so today, September 27th, was like basically powwow Christmas for me. When I saw that box get delivered by the mail and I opened it up, I mean, I was like a 10-year-old boy on Christmas Day all over again. I couldn't believe it. It was just everything I chose was so magical from the book or from the box, and just like one after another, I was just in awe. I couldn't believe I was holding some of these treasures. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Hope everyone's doing well. And that's all I had to say. So lots of love to you guys. God bless you all. Love you, and let's talk soon.